Okay, before we get going, let's review some of the first step biomechanics. When you're blowing by your guy, you want to get to this low, wide stance. Okay, from this position, you got an angle driving right, you got an angle driving left, falling into that first step, boom, getting into that track start position where the ball's protected, motor in the rear, or vice versa, going left, crossing over, same thing, track start position, being explosive that way. Two things we want to make sure we avoid. Number one, we don't want to be upright and narrow as we go by our guy. It's not an angle to drive by him left or right. You also don't have enough power in your legs. Second thing, when you stride into your step, we don't want to overstep here where we're pulling with our hamstring. We want that leg to fall under our center of mass, so we're pushing with our glutes, with our motor in the rear. All right, remember that, and we'll get going.
All right, now that we've reviewed the biomechanics, let's go to the film room and try to put this all into a game context. We talked about in the workouts having an imagination, putting yourself in that game setting, so these clips will help paint that picture for you and show exactly where what we're working on applies to the game setting. So let's go in, let's look at this first clip. This is of Trevor Hudgens, the Division II Player of the Year this year, and you can see how starting and stopping, the ability to accelerate and deaccelerate, really helps him get to the rim and get this scoring opportunity. So let's go through and break it down. First, setting up the ball screen. Right there, that's the stance we're talking about. 2 feet stuck in the ground. Threat to go both ways. You could cross this thing over and go baseline, or we could come off the ball screen. Look how quick that first step is, and look how he's able to load up that lower half. Boom! And explode into that first step. There's that track start position that we're talking about. Okay, now as he gets the mismatch and he goes to attack his man, you can put a little window dressing on it. He's got more time to load up into this move, and so he takes more of a jab step, more of a 1-2, than sticking both feet at the same time. That gets his defender to shift right, open up the gate, and opens up that driving lane going left. Let's move on and talk about some of the Mavs from the last 2 years using these techniques. Here we have Connor Nichols against Colorado Mines, getting an advantage against a bigger player. So now as he goes into this move, you can see right there that stance we're talking about, threat going both ways. And what I really love about this clip is the track start position falling into that first step. So once he decides to go right, you can see right there he gets to that track start position. You can see his leg right under his center of mass. You can see how much core strength Connor has. Look at his back, how flat that is. That's what Mark Ryan's trying to get you guys to do in the weight room. And he's really able to explode into this move. Okay, here's Tommy Nuno against UCCS. Big possession in the game, and he's able to get us a clutch bucket. Okay, let's take a look at some things he does really well. First, the starting and the stopping. Look how simple it is, just being able to come to a stop before starting again. What it's going to do is put that defender in an interesting position. He's either going to have his feet completely stop, which means you can time it up and go at the right time, or he's going to shuffle his feet like he does here and not get enough friction into the ground to be able to change direction. Okay, the second thing that's really nice about this clip is look at the total relaxation of his body here. You can think of your body like a rubber band. If you're holding that rubber band really tightly, it can't get pulled any tighter. You want that rubber band to be relaxed, so right now, boom, you can tighten those muscles and recruit that elastic energy, allowing you to have a quicker first step. Okay, last few coaching points here. The value of a 2-foot acceleration, sticking both feet in the ground, relative to more of a 1-2 acceleration into your move. And this is something that when we're doing workouts, guys always get confused about. They're a little confused what we're asking and which one's better. So let's go into the film room and talk about the pros and cons of each. So here you can see Mike getting to that 2-foot stance, both feet in the ground. He's a threat to go both ways. The value in this is you're just keeping the game incredibly simple. It's all about starts and stops. You can see his eyes are up. Without having to put too much sauce into this dribble, he can see the floor and read it. Right here is a threat to go left, threat to go right. It's going to be very hard for the defender to read his body language. The negative of this is you're not going to shift the defender east and west a gigantic amount, but you should be able to get just enough for a shoulder chest advantage, which Mike certainly does here. Okay, moving on to Georgie's move now. Okay, more of the 1-2. Now the value in this is you do get your defender shifted more east and west. You can see loading up and planting off left foot, right foot, gets the defender to go whoop, get his weight on that leg right there, shifting east to west, which creates a bigger window for him there. The negative would be you guys can see how much it takes to load up that move, and it's a little bit harder to keep your eyes up and see the floor. So this is a great move, fantastic by Georgie, but we just want to keep the game as simple as possible, starts and stops, be able to keep your eyes up, see the floor. Okay, last point here on this clip, and this is really impressive, but just talking about playing low to lower. So you can see going into this move, Georgie's already low, bent at the knees, bent at the hips, and he's able to get much lower into that move. Notice the shin angle right here. That's extremely difficult to do. I'm certainly not doing that in the video clips that I sent you out in the outdoor court, but just that low shin angle really allows you to explode. You can see the strength in the lower leg right here. And look at the foot angle he's sitting on. You can see that in a lot of NBA players. They push off that inside toe, that big toe. So really good foot strength is extremely important. You can develop that by jumping rope, especially barefoot. Okay, now as he goes into his move, right there's that track start position. You can see how flat the lower back is. His core is extremely strong, which allows his body to sit into his glutes and explode into that first step.